Katarzyna, what are you doing? You are ruining the lovely facade of Projekt-18. What are you doing?
Am I ruining this lovely facade of this beautiful city of Maribor?
Yes, but why?
Actually, as you may see, there are like 26 points written by a local collective with a name that is very difficult to remember.
Yes, I agree. Okay.
And those points actually, they're very specific and they state what are the most urgent problems concerning culture in Maribor. So I've decided to highlight them because before they were not properly answered by politicians. And I've come here and I got interested what is the situation of culture in Maribor, and I realized that it's been properly addressed by this collective and all the problems are well known.
Yeah.
But the real problem is that they only get the attention of politicians where in specific moments in time, like the European Capital of Culture 2012. I imagine everyone was very officially concerned about culture, and now we are Maribor is in the process of elections. So again, those issues are widely discussed by politicians, and they are officially very interested, and they officially would acknowledge the problems. But since when the elections are over, the entire issue of culture is becoming forgotten.
Yeah.
So this is a symbolic performance, a symbolic representation of how culture is being forgotten in Maribor.
Yes.
So today is a day of when citizens get the official results of the election. So it's a symbolic date because it's also the first day where when those beautiful interests of politicians become lessened. Like already some candidates are off. So you start to realize that some of this interest is already gone. So I'm applying a very thin layer of white paint.
Okay.
The title of the project is "The Future is Getting Brighter," which can be, of course, understood in two ways. The first way is like the politicians promise us this bright future, also bright future concerning culture. But the other way of understanding it is you may think of white color and that is becoming thicker and thicker and thicker as a work of as a work of memory and forgetting. So the future is becoming bright. It could be also interpreted in this way that it's just things and real issues concerning culture are becoming forgotten. And what's interesting is that I will just apply thin layers of paint, so those 26 points will still be visible, they'll still be like shining through. So no matter how much politicians would try to forget and not talk and just to keep the debate away about culture, those issues are still here. Yeah.
What I'm really interested in, this is a really short one, and then I will let you do your work. Of course, you're not ruining the facade. It was a sarcasm I really like to use. You are from Poland. You are leaving home in a few days. Why do you care? What is it in you that cares for Maribor? And actually, it should have been us, people who are living in Maribor, that should be doing things like these. What makes you fight and show things publicly for us?
Well, first of all, I'd say that the worsening situation of culture is not just a Slovenian thing, it's an international thing. And I was doing like a research here about the situation in Slovenia, and I found out that some things are still better than in Poland. But if you let them be the way there is, they will get worse. So it's an extremely important moment for Slovenia and for Maribor to fight for its culture now, because in 1 year it can be too late.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you everyone for coming. Welcome to the opening of the facade of guest room Maribor residential artist Katarzyna Pagowska. She's our current artist resident in guest room Maribor. And while being here, she researched a lot of topics. Primarily, she's interested in position of an artist in Maribor, the conditions of work for artists and cultural workers in Maribor. And because while she was staying and researching the topic here in Maribor, her stay correlated with the elections for mayor. And while we were researching the topic, we also saw a lot of candidates on debates, discussing how culture is important, how this is also their personal, let's say, ambition to change something. And through this research, we all also found this document that was written by non-governmental workers and producers in culture, and was already issued in February as 26 most important things that could be changed immediately, and they were already accepted by the city council, and they would dramatically somehow change the position of culture and cultural politics in the city. The points were already put it on the facade on Friday, symbolically the day before of the election silence, so-called process before we should not talk about politics anymore. And this is because all of these topics suddenly became again important, as I mentioned before. These points, all of the candidates saying how important they are, but after the election silence, there is a post-election silence, and those things become less important, not so much in center of attention anymore. And today, when the, let's say, official results came out for the second round, the first coat of paint was put it on the facade by the artist, somehow as reminding also to the title, "The future is getting brighter," because it's going to be brighter anyway, or a new candidate, or a new, let's say, new mayorship will change something, or through the process of these points being exhibited on the open will start getting to fade away, losing the importance. And this is how this performance, or better said, intervention, will continue. The next step will be done on 3rd of December, when the second round will be finished and the election or the elected mayor will be known. The process will be repeated if there will be any important shift in the cultural sphere. If something of this will be changed or solved, the written point will disappear completely. Otherwise, through the codes, it will become blank, and the final effect will be two blank slides, or tabula rasa, somehow the empty space that can be again filled, or somehow shows that we stayed on a position 0, status quo, or whatever. And maybe this is also a nice way to ask Katarzyna about her feelings about it, and maybe also you have some questions for us or for the audience.
Yeah, thank you so much, Simon. I want to use this opportunity to first of all thank everyone. I want to thank Guest Room Maribor and Piekarnia and everyone, all the team who helped me with the research and with the implementation of the work on the facade. And I want to thank the collective for joining forces with me. And I really want to thank a lot Simon for being such a great curator who helped a lot with the project. And yes, I think that Simon explained the ideas behind the project very well. I could second every word, actually. And since we already know the results of the first round of the elections in Maribor, I am curious how how you perceive the current situation or the nearest future. What are your feelings? Do you feel that future will be brighter in Maribor, and in what way? The future of culture.
Future will be neoliberal. I have to say, I'm sorry. Either way.
Yeah, we are all skeptical. We will be very curious to see if there will be changes with potential new mayor, but still undecided. So we need to vote.
We need to vote again. No?
Well, I would like to give also a special thanks to Tanja Cvitko for her intervention, for her collaboration. Thank you also for many things. We will just call it many things. Thank you for coming and also making these interviews.
I will cut this out. Katarzyna, do you have a message for Maribor in the aspect of culture? Because you're leaving in a few days, do you have a message for us?
Yes, Tanya, I remember that the first moment we met, actually the first minute, you asked me what kind of a person, like a human being, is Maribor, how do I perceive it? And I have to tell you that I have this idea that Maribor is like either a child or an older person.
Okay.
But generally what children and older people have in common is that they are like kind and good people, but very naive also, and they need to be protected.
Exactly. And who is their protector?
Well, politicians should be. If they are, let's see.
Thank you.